No one orders me around. This is more like it. No one orders me around. Ah, at last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Now, Frostmourne. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Faithless coward. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied town is being attacked!
This is more like it. Finally. At last. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. At last. This is more like it. At last. For the Lich King. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Your pain shall be legendary. At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Faithless coward. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Tread lightly. At last. What is it now? This is more like it.
Hello there!
Tread lightly.
Our allied town is being attacked!
What is it? Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is at last. Finally. At last. Finally. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. Speak, fool. Finally.
Greetings, friend.
No one orders me around. Tread lightly. At last. Finally. At last. Finally. At last. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. For the Lich King. Frostmourne hungers. At last. What is it now? Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. At last. This is more like it. At last.
Welcome to our village.
Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. No one wants me around. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied town is being
At
attacked!
last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Tread lightly. What is it now? Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. This is more. Finally. This is more like it. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. Finally.
Our allied
This is
town
more
is
like
being
it.
attacked!
This is more like it. At
Our
last,
allies' hero has been slain!
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. What is it now? No one orders me around. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Speak, fool. Finally. This is more like it. At last. What is it now? Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. What is it now? This is more like it. Finally. Tread lightly.
Our allies'
This
hero
is
has been slain!
What is it now? At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. Faithless coward. This is more like it. Finally. No one orders me. Tread lightly. This is more like it. What is it now? Speak, fool.
Our allied town is
At
being
last.
attacked!
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. No one around. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. At last. Tread lightly. Finally. No one orders me around. Frostmourne. Finally. At last. Finally. Glory to the Scourge. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. For the Lich King. You will know endless torment. This is more like it. Now, Frostmourne. Finally. At last. Oh, shoot. Now, Frostmourne.
Our
Frostmourne
allied town
hungers.
is being attacked!
This is more like it. What is it now? At last. No one orders
Our
me
allies' hero
around.
has been slain!
This is more like it. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more. Tread lightly.
shall be legendary.
Finally. At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. This is more like it.
Our allied town is
Frostmourne
being attacked.
Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Our
Finally.
allied town is being attacked.
At last. Frostmourne hungers. Now. Finally. Tread lightly.
Greetings, friend.
Speak, fool.
We're under attack.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. Tread lightly. At last. No one. Speak, fool. This is more like it. No one orders me around. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. What is it now? Speak, fool. Finally. What is it now? Tread lightly. At last. Speak, fool.
Our allied
Finally.
town is being attacked. We're under attack.
Tread
Our
lightly.
allied hero has been slain.
This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. What is it now? Tread lightly. Speak, fool. No one orders me around. At last. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Faithless coward.
This is
Our allied town is being attacked.
at last. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. No one orders me
Inventory is
around.
Our allied town is being attacked.
At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. What is it now? Speak, fool. What is it now? This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally.
You will know endless.
At last.
Our hero has been slain. Our allied town is being attacked. Our allies' hero has been slain. Our allies' hero has been slain.
Speak, fool. Finally. It's more like it. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. Speak,
Our
fool.
allied town is being
What
attacked.
is it now? At last.
Our allied hero has been slain.
Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally.
Our
Frostmourne
allied town is
hungers.
being attacked.
Finally. This is more like it. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Finally.
Inventory
At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. Finally. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Our allies' hero has been slain.
This is more like it.
Our
Finally.
allied town is being attacked.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers.
Our
At
allied
last.
town is being attacked.
This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Tread lightly. At last. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied town is being attacked.
At last. Speak, fool. This is more like it. At last. This is more
Our
like
allies' hero has been
What
slain.
is it now? No one orders me around. What is it now? Finally. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Finally. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it.
Our
No one
allied
orders
town
me
is being attacked.
Speak. At last. This is more like it. At last.
Our
Frostmourne
allied town is
hungers.
being attacked.
This is
Our
more
allies'
like
hero
it.
has been slain.
Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied
Finally.
town is being attacked.
At last. No one orders me around. Finally. This is
Our
at
allied
last.
town is being attacked.
Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last.
Our allied town is
Finally.
being attacked.
This is more like it. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally.
Our allied town is being attacked. We
What
need
is it
more
now?
gold. Our allies' hero has
Finally.
been slain. Our allies'
is
hero
more
has been slain.
At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Our
Frostmourne
allied town
hungers.
is being attacked.
This is more like it. At last. Finally.
Our allies' hero has been slain.
Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. At last. What is it now? Speak, fool. Frostmourne
Our
hungers.
allied town is being attacked.
At last. Finally. Tread lightly.
Our allied town is being attacked.
Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. Finally. At last. This is more.
Our allied town is being attacked.
Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Our allies' hero has been
No
slain.
one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied town is being attacked.
Speak, fool. This is more like it. No one orders me around. What is it now?
Our
at
allied town
last.
is being attacked.
Finally. This is more like it. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. At
Our
last.
allied town is being attacked.
Finally. This is more like it. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more
Our
like
allies'
it.
hero has been slain.
Frostmourne hungers. Faithless coward. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. Speak, fool. Finally. What is it now? This is more like it. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied town is being attacked.
Around. Tread lightly. What is it now? Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Fine. No one around. Speak, fool.
Our allies' hero has been slain.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. I'll make sure
Our
you
allies'
suffer.
hero has been slain.
Finally.
Our allied town is being
Frostmourne
attacked.
hungers. Tread lightly. What is it now? This is more like it. Hungers. This is more like it. Finally.
Frostmourne hungers.
This is more like it.
Our allied
at
town
last.
is being attacked.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Tread lightly. At last. Finally. This is more like
Our
it.
allied town is being
Frostmourne
attacked.
hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Our
Frostmourne
allied town is
hungers.
being attacked.
This is more like it. Speak, fool. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied town is
at
being
last.
attacked. Our allies' hero has been slain.
Tread lightly. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied town is
This
being
is
attacked.
Finally. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now? This is more like it. Finally. At last.
Our
This
allied
is more
town is
like
being attacked.
Frostmourne hungers. At last. Speak, fool. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied town is being
At
attacked.
last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Our allied hero
At
has
last.
been slain. Our allied town is being attacked.
At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. At last.
Our hero has been slain. Our allied town is being attacked. Our allied hero has been slain. Our allied town is being attacked.
What is it now? This is. No one orders me. What is it now? Finally.
Our allied town is being
Frostmourne.
attacked.
Tread lightly. Speak, fool. This. What is it?
Our allied hero has been slain.
Finally. This is more
Our
like it.
allied town is being attacked.
Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. This is more like it. At last.
Our allied town is being
Frostmourne
attacked.
hungers. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Finally. This is more like it.
Our allied town is being
At
attacked.
last.
Our
What
allied
is it
hero
now?
has been slain.
This is more like it.
Our allied town is being attacked.
At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied town is being attacked.
Finally.
Our allied hero
Frostmourne
has been
hungers.
slain.
Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Our allied town is being attacked.
Tread lightly. At last.
Our
This is more
allied hero
like
has been slain.
Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Our allied town
Finally.
is being attacked.
At last. This is more like it. Finally. No one orders me.
Our allied town is being attacked.
What is it now? This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied town is being attacked. Our allied hero has
At
been
last.
slain.
This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it.
Our allies hero has been
Frostmourne
slain.
hungers.
Our allied town is
At
being attacked.
last. Finally. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Our allied town is being attacked! Our hero has been slain! Our allied town is being attacked! Our allied town is being attacked! Our allied town is being attacked! Our allied town is being attacked!
Speak, fool. This is more like it. At last. Tread lightly. Finally.
Our allies' hero has been
This is
slain!
more like it. What is it now? Finally. This is more like it. At last. Finally. At last. This is more like it. Finally.
Our allied town is being attacked!
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally.
Our hero has been slain! Our allied hero has been slain! Our allied hero has been slain! Our allied town is being attacked! Our allied hero has been slain! Our allied town is being attacked! Our allied town is being attacked! Our allied town is being attacked!
No one orders me. Speak, fool. At last. Finally.
Our allied town is being attacked!
At last. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allied town is being attacked!
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Our
Finally.
allied town is being attacked!
Tread lightly. At last. Finally. At last. Finally. This is more like it. At
Our
last.
allied town is being attacked!
This is more like it. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally.
Our allied town is
At
being
last.
attacked.
Frostmourne
Our
hungers.
allies' hero has been slain.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last.
Our allied town is being attacked.
At last. Finally. This is more like it. Finally.
Our allied town is
last.
being attacked.
Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. What is it now? This is more like it. Speak, fool. Finally.
Our allied town is being attacked. We
No
need
one
more
orders me.
lumber.
This is more. What is it now? Tread lightly.
Our allied town is being
is
attacked.
At last. Frostmourne
Our allies'
hungers.
hero has been slain.
Finally.
Our allies' hero has been
At
slain.
last. What is it now? Speak, fool. What is
Our
it now?
allied town is being attacked.
Finally. For the Lich King. Speak, fool. This is more like it. Tread lightly. What is it now?
Our allied
at
town
last.
is being attacked.
No one orders me around. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally.
Our
At
allied
last.
town is being attacked.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Finally.
Our allied town is
Frostmourne
being attacked.
This is more like it. Finally. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Our allied town
Frostmourne
is being
hungers.
attacked.
This is more like it.
Our allied town is being attacked.
Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Our
Finally.
allied town is being attacked.
This is more like it. At last. This is more like it.
Our allied town is being
Frostmourne
attacked.
hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. At last.
Our allies hero. Our allied town is being attacked.
At last. This is more like it.
Our
Finally.
allies hero has been slain.
This is more like it. At last.
Our allies hero
Frostmourne
has been slain.
hungers.
Our
Finally.
allied town is being attacked.
This is more like it. Finally. At last. Finally.
Our allied town is being
At
attacked.
last. This is more like it.
Our hero has been slain. Our allied town is being attacked. town is being attacked!
Use my aid required.
For the memory of 12
Our
Halak!
allied hero has been slain!
Tread lightly.
屌你老母點啊！